Well. So we got some pretty crazy things going on. We just got this announcement 3 hours ago. This is the UK. Well, they are now, as you can see here from Twitter, saying that they are going to be doing digital ID will be mandatory for their citizens to have the right to work. Look at his hands as he says it. Let me spell it out for you. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have a digital ID. It's simple as it is. He says it will be done before the end of the parliament. At the end of the current UK parliament is no later than August 2029. Just in time that their agenda to 2030 plan. Hopefully something happens before then. That's pretty crazy. And so let's watch it and see what he says.
It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes.
Sorry, I probably watched that video twice because I had to listen to it a few times. But digital ID. So how does this help anything, right? So I think from my interpretation, it sounds good, but what could be wrong, right? And I think the idea is that it seems like this is their plan to bring their illegal immigrants into their country. As you guys know, it's already being poured in, right? So these digital IDs could easily probably just be given to them, and that's part of like their plan overall. And it probably leads to more tracking, to your everyday life. I would feel like especially with the whole thing going on where like crazy things where the police are just basically arresting you for saying shit on social media, right? I'm sure you guys know all this stuff that's happening. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, it seems like that's what's going on. But hey, maybe it's just one side of the media. I don't know. But from what I've seen, it seems like a pretty bad idea. I think it seems like everyone's pretty upset with it. So let's check some of the comments here. So yeah, it seems like they're trying to basically bring them all over. Yeah, this is, a lot of people are not happy. They're not really happy with this. And of course, again, it could go from even just bringing all these illegals in, whether country you're from, but it's still bad. So everyone's pretty upset. Everyone's pretty upset with what's been going on. So here we go. So now we have 800,000 British have now signed a petition opposing the dystopian digital ID in just hours. So that's great, and I hope it keeps going up, because if this actually happens, I think this would be really bad for the country. And yeah, it's just getting worse as it is already. And speaking of which, I think California is having a similar issue, kind of. We're starting to get there, where in California, there's a bill that Gavin Newsom has ready to sign. Is that basically it's the same idea. It sounds good in terms of well, if it's hate speech, we gotta get rid of it. But that's the problem. The problem is it's what the government thinks is good or bad. So I can just say something like Gavin Newsom sucks, and then you get a fine for it, because they might think it's bad, right? That's pretty crazy. So you can't have your own opinion about it, which is insane. So let's see a comment here. So it says, so in the UK, you will need an ID to work. You'll need it to post on social media. If you post the wrong thing, they can arrest you and revoke your ID, therefore revoking your right to work and earn money. The UK will be a communist state. That's pretty much seems like that's what's going on, at least to some people here from Retard Finder. And so I thought this was funny. So this is the UK. This is the US. So the UK is saying think before you post. So this is enough already is freaking insane. Think before you post. It's like, dude, the whole point of freedom of speech is to post what the hell you like. Now, again, you're gonna probably say, "Hey, Wings, but what about the other day? Jimmy Kimmel didn't have his freedom of speech." Well, at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but there are consequences. This is not even get a chance to say what you want, and you're getting punished for it. So there's a big difference. And of course, right here, JD Vance posts his famous meme. And honestly, I think JD Vance is gonna win the 2020 election. Just stuff like this. Like, it's funny how like lefty people they think this is like them making fun of us. But dude, we embrace this. That's a little off topic, but I just thought it was funny. We embrace this, and we think it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, so. Yeah, it's pretty insane in the government in UK right now. I mean, again, maybe I have friends who live in the UK. I mean, they're kind of telling me all this shit, but there's also people, vice versa, right? They might not even care about this stuff, but I don't know. It's pretty insane. I think I found a post from Asmund Gold as well. So here's the post from Asmund. So from this post, what he said, Kira says, "I know you're worried about the level of illegal immigration into this country. Digital ID is another measure to make it tougher to work illegally here, making our borders more secure." Is that what it is? Because I think you just poured in a ton of them in your country. So, does that really make a difference? It doesn't sound like that makes much of a difference. Ours is a fair Britain built on change, not division. Are you sure about that? Yeah, this is pretty crazy. So here are some comments from people I follow. Of course, they're going to be on top of things. So Asmund Gold says, "I told you all this shit was going to happen, but nobody wanted to listen." He did say that. Well, I don't know if he said exactly like this, but he did say that people are going to revolt, and I think that's what's happening. Maybe he said that, but that sounds like something Asmund would say if that was the case. So he's already responding to this. Shibi Reviews is another guy I like to follow and watch. Digital ID will not help illegal migration. You just want to spy on people. Yep, pretty much that's it. It's just another excuse. It's just like straight up 1984. This is like George Orwell, dude. It's pretty insane. And I love the way they say, "Oh, this will bring change, or not division." I'm like, it's dividing a lot of people. So I don't know if that really makes too much sense. And of course, Jonathan wants says, "There is no way for this function unless you outlaw cash. Insert the government into every transaction between employers and employees, contracts between individuals, and set up checkpoints at every store. And even you'll just give the IDs to every immigrant anyways." So yeah, pretty much. Like, you're just going to give it to them anyway. So it's not going to really change much. I think this is literally their plan. It's kind of scary to see it. And like I said, a ton of people aren't happy with this. They don't want this. Like, a lot of people do not. And I think that's good enough. If there's a good amount of people that don't want it, that there must be something wrong, right? So, yeah, no one's very happy with any of this right now. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. This is pretty wild. I mean, obviously I don't live there, so it's good to know that, there's stuff happening, and good to know that we know about it. I think overall what I'm trying to say is. So anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yep, that's pretty much wild. It's pretty crazy.